This is Tina and Rich coming back with you to do another episode of what we like to call
Ask Tina and Rich.
And it's where we spotlight a local business owner that's killing it in the world today. Today we happen to do, this is another boss girl that we're having, right. Babe. You must like those boss ladies.
Strong Latinas. I love my strong Latinas.
He's a very good supporter of the strong Latinas, I will say that. But today we have a very good friend of mine, Miss Shelly Padilla. She's with State Farm Insurance. We've been knowing Shelly for a very long time. Quick little story. I wanted to get my daughter into a school district, which I didn't live in. And I wanted Miss Lauren to go to a good school, and I found somebody that did, and that was my roomie. So I actually called Miss Shelly my roomie because she had a house in that district. So she was really nice to make sure that my daughter got into a good school, and we've been just hanging out and supporting each other ever since. So I'd like to bring on Miss Araceli. Come on in, Araceli.
Hello.
There she is. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, thank you. How are you guys?
Good. We're doing amazing.
I love it.
So 4th of July, you got through it?
Yes, I did. It was a great 4th of July. Very reflective, right? Spending time with family. Nothing can do. I mean, that's the best thing we can do. Spend time with family.
I know. During this season, I think that's probably all we really can do is just get closer to our friends and our family, and just make sure that we keep them close.
So what do we got for lunch today?
I know we got lunch in front of us.
Yes, we do. Thank you so much, Tina, again for providing the lunch. We ordered today from Chapter 1 from downtown Santa Ana. Jeff Jensen is the owner. He's a really good friend of mine. I've known him started, I think it was back in 2010. So for me, it's been one of those things, the collaboration, right? Small businesses supporting other small businesses, especially more than ever right now during this COVID time. So for me, I just thought it's extra important for us to order out and keep supporting our restaurants, because I think they're impacted the most. So again, thank you guys for allowing me to choose Chapter 1, because he's just been an amazing entrepreneur, especially with the whole revitalization of downtown Santa Ana. Tina, I know you would appreciate that, right? Growing up in Santa Ana, how much Santa Ana has changed.
Totally. Every time I drive downtown Santa Ana, it's changed and it's evolving. There's so much to do. I actually do know Chapter 1. They're a great little, right down there, right in the downtown area, great little spot. So I'm glad you chose them. So I'm excited. So we actually all got the same thing, but the salad with a steak on it. You can't go wrong with that, right? Little bad, little good. So,
yeah.
So this will have to do until we can do these interviews in person and go to the actual site. So it's the only way we can get innovative and inventive enough to do that. So, dealing with a couple of things lately, my daughter had a issue with flooding. And so I tell her, you need to have a relationship with your agent, your insurance agent, because times like this, pick up the phone and call. Like if I had issues with my insurance, I mean, you happen to do my insurance. So I'm like, Shelly, what do I do? How do I do this? And, you're able to help me out. I mean, share that with us a little bit. How important that is.
I think more than ever, the relationship between a personal agent, well, this is what I've always heard. For everyone, it's always important to have a good attorney, a good CPA, and a good insurance agent.
Yeah.
Why? Because there's so much complexity behind it. And having that personal agent, you see the value of it, especially when you have a car accident, when you file a claim. I think most people pay insurance most of their lives until we die.
Yeah.
Us don't even know how it works because we don't file a claim. So you just pay your premiums as you go and you think you're covered until that one day where you do file a claim and you realize either you're not covered, you don't have the right insurance, and then you realize, where's my agent? I need help, I need assistance. So more than ever, I think that touch where I think technology has allowed us to streamline a lot of processes, maybe online banking and so forth. However, I think insurance is one of those things that sure we can streamline online, and we can now have 800 numbers where you can go online and do your quote online. But there's a lot more than just pressing those buttons when you're doing your own quote. What you're telling yourself is you're representing yourself and saying, hey, I think $15,000 is enough to protect all my assets. When essentially, if you have a home that's worth $500,000, you know, you're driving every day and you're pressing that $15,000 coverage, you're saying, hey, State Farm, we want you to pay $15,000 for all my liability exposure. So when I crash and I hit somebody and I injure somebody, just cover me for $15,000.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more to it when you're just pressing those buttons. I think that's when the agent comes in handy, because it's not only about the personal relationship as far as texting. You know, Tina calling me at 8:15 at night, which I always respond back. Shelly, did I make my payment? I forgot, my credit card has changed. There's so many things that happen, and that feels good, right? For you to get a quick response, say, no worry, Tina, I'll take care of you.
Yeah.
Because the world that we live in, we have so many things that happen. Children, our business, we are just trying to survive in a busy world.
Yeah.
So it's so important when you're able to just text someone, you put it in their court. Because that's how I
think when I'm sitting down with my friends and they're talking about, you know, oh, they had this incident happen, their fence fell, and they didn't have the right insurance or this. And my first thought is, well, why didn't they call their insured? You know, why didn't they call their person and talk to them?
Why didn't they call our Shelly?
And sometimes I have like random questions that I'll text you. I'm like, is my fence covered? And you're like, yeah, why? What happened? I'm like, no, nothing. I just want to make sure. Because I hear everybody else's horror stories. So I'm like, what, you know,
Sure.
Thank God it's not happening to me, but why don't these people have relationships with their insurance people like we have, you know? And you know, you have a great answer, because you and I spoke, so we're going to talk a little bit more about that and how it transfers to wealth. But I think Rich had a question in regards to another big thing that's in your, that I know you for, is your big heart. And
you had said about the busy life. We have to get everything, busy life, doing everything, fitting it all in. How do you find time to donate and give back as much as you do?
I was telling him everything you do, and I'm
amazing.
Like, yeah. She's still mom. She's still,
how?
You know.
I am asked that a lot, and I have to think about it because I don't even realize that I do so much. If that makes sense. I think for me, I'm a balanced person. I have to have family first.
Yeah.
First in my life, then work, and then giving others. But I honestly think it's my passion, because ever since I was a young child, sports is what disciplined me. I was 10 years old. I was captain of my softball team. And I remember people relying on me. Back then, I was driving this around. Like my did not revolve around their work schedule. It was figure it out.
Yeah.
So I used to take buses. I used to take the city van. So I think growing up, I used to think, man, my parents don't help me, and maybe a little resentful, but I am very happy because that is what's helped me. That's what's helped me figure things out. That's what's helped me become the disciplined person that I am, and wanting to give back, because I remember I had a lot of scars on my knees because we used to play in short at Our Lady of the Pillar. We didn't have money for cleats or knee pads, and I remember I telling my mom, I need cleats, I need good cleats, because I was fast and I used to slide. Oh no, mija, tú no necesitas eso, usa tus zapatos.
Yeah.
So those things in mind have always reminded me that those little things make such a difference, and I didn't have opportunities. And somebody buying me some cleats would have been like somebody buying me $1 million home back then, right?
Yeah.
So I think putting those things together, as far as discipline, being in sports, growing up with such a huge responsibility, because, you know, I could have just said, you know, I don't have a ride, but I knew my depended on me. I knew that I had to be there. So my commitment was there at such an early age, and the self-discipline, not having much growing up. So I didn't have much growing up because my father was in work. However, what we did have was love, and what we did have was family, and we did have that entrepreneur spirit and that teamwork where we all pull together and we make it. And I believe that's how we made it. So that's where my passion of giving back to, because there's so many kids that I give back to, or so many families. And when I think of them, I'm like, I didn't do much, but what I changed their landscape, whether it's an insurance world, whether it's, I helped this one gentleman, I paid for his DACA papers, and now he works for a law firm, which I helped him get a job. What he's able to do now is he's been able to help provide for his family. He's been able to pull his family ahead. It didn't cost me much. It wasn't a lot of, so I just believe all those little things are really good. And then back to the question is, how do I do it? Honestly, it's not just me behind the scenes. I'm a good delegator, and I have a big team. I have a good network around me because I delegate a lot of my things. I have people that I task duties with, and then I take credit. So I never want to take credit for all the things that I do out there, because I think it's just, you say it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
So that's where your spheres of influence, your business leaders, your friends, family, everyone here in my office is like family. And then if you notice on a lot of the events that I post, my son's there. My son's been coming to community events since he was 7. I had this agent, Teresa Knowles, reach out to me and said, Shelly, we're doing our yearly neighborhood thing. Is your son going to come? Because everybody's asking him. He was 8 years old. Good. So my son is asking me, Mom, when are we going to our next event? When do I need to pack? What the tents? What I do is it's engaging. Yeah. Not only am I working, but I have my family in there. So I'm not leaving my family at home. Good. I'm bringing them right along with me for the ride so they can see how hard I work. And my son's 13 and he tells, Mom, you're such a hard worker. So Good. He loves that. So I think that's what's really the key there, is that also when you follow your passion, it doesn't feel like you work a lot, because honestly,
I tell him. Or that's what he tells me. He's like, you've never worked a day in your life. And I'm like,
she never has.
But I guess it's true. You know, when you're trying to help people, you know, we try to help people build wealth. We try to, you know, talk about wealth, talk about generation. You know, you and I had a long conversation about generational wealth and really helping, you know, our Latino community with that. And, you know, I asked you for a tip, and, you know, because we were talking a little bit about that. And, you know, so I said, well, you know, Shelly, give us an insurance tip to leave us with. And what was your answer? Do you remember it?
Yes. I said, your job is to help everyone build wealth. Your job is to help people achieve their American dream, and that's by creating wealth. Mm-hmm. And my job is to make sure I'm protecting their assets. So most people pay insurance. Most people have a home policy that they pay for because it's escrowed, but most people do not know what it covers, how much they pay, or who their insurance agent is. So my job is to make sure, if my tip would be, make sure you're reviewing your home policies, make sure you have the right coverage, make sure you know who that agent is, because unfortunately, as you see in our news today, we have wildfires again. I think in my experience with the last 4 to 5 years, I have never seen so many fires. And I'll tell you what, when your home burns down, you want to make sure you know who to call, and you want to make sure you know your agent. So that way you know what to do, because unfortunately, we can't do anything about the fire because it's already happened. But what we can do is make it a lot easier and help you navigate through the process so that we can start helping you rebuild.
Yeah, and I think that's really good, is that, you know, what you said, and it made me think, wow, we trip out on, we sell people the biggest asset they'll probably ever buy. Yes. And when I ask them, you know, this is a document you have to get signed. Do you have anybody? They're like, well, no. Can I just get whoever my car insurance, you know, got whatever it is. I don't want to say anybody's name, but whoever insurance company. I'm like, you know, don't you want to protect this beautiful little, you know, you work so hard for this asset. You know, God forbid. I think I care more about insurance because I remember being young, and my grandfather, he had a fire in his house. His house was paid for, and he didn't have insurance. And that always stuck with me because my mom is in real estate, and I'm like, why are they stressing? Don't you guys have insurance? And she's like, grandpa's like, they don't have insurance. They didn't, you know, they let it lapse or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, there's their home. That's their sanctity. It's their, it's their safe haven. So if we do anything, I hope that we encourage people or inspire people to at least pick up the phone and know who their insurance agent is. And if they need a great one, I know one, come to me. I'll give you Shelly's number.
How do they get a hold of you, Shelly?
Yeah.
So the way you can get a hold of me is our office number is 714-543-5858, or you can Google my name, Shelly Padilla at State Farm. My website is www.shellypadilla.com. It's as quick as that. If you'd like, again, when you go on Google, all my information's on there. It's so easy. With this time that we live in now, it's so easy to find information.
Yeah. So there you have it. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. Thank you for recommending
this food is
chapter
good.
1. I appreciate it. So thank you so much.
We'll see you later, Shelly. Thank you. Wow, that was really cool. That last tip was I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you been insured with her?
For a very long time. Real long time.
That is cool. Right on. All right, so Ask Tina and Rich, next week's issue, we'll see what we'll come up with, all right?
Not issue. We don't have issues. Episode.
There it is. Next week's episode. We'll see what we come up with. All right, guys. We'll talk to you later.